Hello everyone. So welcome to our next class. It's a continuation from our PHP class. So we've had about 5 tutorials on PHP already. So you have gotten all the foundations you needed for your programming skills to work with Laravel. Now Laravel is a PHP framework. There are other frameworks as well like like Code Igniter. We have Cake PHP and the rest of them. Okay, but Laravel seems to be more popular. So in this tutorial, we will learn how to use Laravel. Now a question might come, why do we need to use Laravel when we can create stuff with PHP? Yes, so a framework helps us to easily reuse ready-made components, okay, created by the creator of that framework. We are able to reuse those components and easily build our own projects more efficiently and even faster. Okay, so there are a couple of things you go beat around the bush left, right, and then spend time to complete using the normal PHP. But with a framework like Laravel, it's easier to set up like CRUD functionality: create, read, update, delete. So it's easy, just copy. Some things are defined, for us already. So you just copy and paste and it makes the work faster and easier. So that's why we use framework, and it's still from PHP. So it's recommended we use framework as well. So let's see how to dive in. So to get started, we need to install Laravel. How do we install Laravel? So to install Laravel, this is a Laravel. Laravel is a PHP framework for, you see, it's a free open source. Okay, so with expressive, elegant syntax, we've already laid the foundation, freeing you to create without sweating the small things. So that's the advantage of using framework. So let's see how to do that. So to install Laravel, we'll use what we call Composer. So if you get to this website, getcomposer.org, you click on it, and then let's get there. So you click on download, and then this is a top page. Okay, this the top part. So you click on download and install. So you click on the setup.exe. I won't click on that. I already have Composer installed. So once you click on it, it will download for you. So how do you check if Composer has downloaded for you? So we go to CMD, and then you just type the word Composer, and then if you see all these green no issues and then Composer written boldly here, then you know everything was successful. So now that we have Composer, the next thing would be for us to install Laravel, okay, and create a project with Laravel. So how do we do that? Okay, so to do that, I think one easy way to do that, let me just go somewhere. So we go to localhost SAM htdocs as we are approaching our web server. I have a Laravel folder I just created. It's not part, you can name it anything, but create a folder so that you don't have so many folders on that root directory. So we have one project here, so we want to create another project. So to do that, we would easily just create a new folder here, but let's not do that. Instead, let's go and open this with, so you can say open this with code. Once you are here, htdocs, and then your folder, you can create a folder here, any folder here, just by clicking here. So it will create some folder for you here. So once you do that, once you create a folder like Laravel here, so you get inside that folder, then you right click and then open with code. So it opens that particular folder for you. That's the easy way of doing it. So once it opens with code, what you need to do is yeah, it's here. So what you need to do is you type the command that will create a new project for us. So the command is called composer um, create project. Okay, then what kind of project do you want to create? Laravel /Laravel okay, and then the name of the project, as easy as that. So you want to work with Clinic Manager, okay. So Clinic Manager, one word, okay. So Clinic Manager, once you do that, you hit enter. So it will take like 7 minutes to do that. Let me just pause. Okay, so the install is complete. So we now have our Clinic Manager here alongside the markdown file we had, and the markdown file is just for our notes, I mean, and then this folder, which is another project. So we have our Clinic Manager here that we just installed. So the next thing to do is to get into that Clinic Manager directory so that we'll be able to perform some functionalities. We'll be able to run our commands. So we get there. So you open folder from that, and then you are able to get to Laravel. Then you click the Clinic Manager once, and then create or open folder per se. So this is just our Clinic Manager without the other thing. So it's easier. You click on top of here to get your command. So yep, so we have successfully installed Laravel or created a project using Laravel, right? So the next thing to do is to run our server. And how do you do that? You run it using PHP artisan serve, okay? So it's coming up as quickly as possible. So this is the URL you can access. So you can copy that, come over here and paste it. So it shows you, so the Laravel installation is successful, right? So but I mean 127.0.0, these are just IP address for localhost. So you can just type localhost there, localhost 8000 still brings you to the same page, right? So this means our Laravel is running successfully, okay. So the next thing would be for us to be able to edit our home page. How do we edit our home page? Now the routes is just like nav, the navigation, the URLs, okay. So once we get to this web.php, that's the web route, and then we notice that this is our welcome, targeting the view, welcome view, right? So how do we access this page now? So we get to resources, right, views, and then we see welcome.blade. So if we say a clinic website, something like that, and then we remove every other thing, we can remove every other thing and just keep it simple, remove all those definitions from Laravel, and just type hello world. Let me make this bigger. So just type we don't need this, we don't need all these styles, blah blah blah, we don't need it. So we just make it clean and simple. So we just type hello world from Laravel. Okay, so this works very well. So if we run this, we now see hello world from Laravel, which means we can access and edit our pages. Okay, so as far as this is running, we get our updates when we refresh. So that's what we are trying to achieve. Now the next thing would be to get maybe get a template online so that we'll be able to replace this with that template. So we can go to startbootstrap.com, we can get to any other template, free templates website. So I'm not in any way advertising this, but you can get to themewagon.com, okay, and download this template. Okay, any template of your choice. I'm using this health center because it's a clinic software. So once you download that, you have this health center master, and then you pop out to your download downloads. Okay, so this is my download. So once the download is complete, you see it's a zip file. So what you do, you click on it, right click, and say extract. I actually want it, yeah, okay. So I can just say extract files. Let me do that again. So extract files. So it extracts the file for us, right? So this is the file that it has extracted for us. And then if we run this locally, let's see, all things being equal, so it's working perfectly. Our website is working. perfectly. So, but this is just on our local machine on download. So we'll see how to bring this into Laravel and change this. Okay. So okay, so how do we do this? To do this, we will look for a page, maybe the home page, and copy that home page. So when I open this, I can do Control U on my keyboard, and then this home page is here. So I'll copy this and place it somewhere on the home page. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So let me just copy from here. Okay, I actually can copy everything, but yeah, let me just copy everything. So I'm copying everything, Control A, and I'm coming over here to this welcome, and I'm having Control V. So if we reload this, you see our empty ugly page with just text. Okay, so it means our HTML is in place, right? So one other thing I'll just do to clean up would be a way of separating some things, because some of the components, some of the parts here, so to speak, would be repeated in every page. So there's no point pouring all the components like navigation bar on all the pages and footer on all the pages. So those repeated areas, we can cut them out and actually have a separate page that holds them. We can call that maybe base.blade.php or something. So let's see how to do that. So what I'm looking for, we actually need to cut this part. Let me see it. So we'll cut this first section and cut this second section out, and then finally we'll cut this footer out because they'll be repeated in all the pages. Like if you go to about, different things like that to make us to be repeated. So let me see how I cut that out. So that stops at about make an appointment. So let me go and look for that make an appointment. Find, make an appointment. So okay, so let me see. So I think that's the second one. We need the first one. So this is it. So which means we'll cut from this section out. So I'm cutting everything out from this section, so it's out. So once we cut that, we can have another view file called a new file called base.blade.html, rather .php, my bad. Okay, so in this base now, we are able to drop that because this is the base definition that will be present for all the websites. Okay, so once you do that, let's go and get the footer as well. So we are getting from this very end up to let me see. So this is the beginning of footer. So we get it, we cut it out, and then we put it on the base. Let me move the base to this side. So we get to the bottom, and then we can keep a space so that we know what to add there, and then we have our footer. So we'll add something to this space. Okay, so this is how you structure your, if we check this now, some parts are gone. So you've seen the footer is gone and this other side is gone as well. So this is the way you structure your app. So the next thing we'll do is to be able to yield a content. So what we do is on the base template here, on the base template where we have uh, this space, it means that we want our actual content to be present here. So we need a way of telling the other pages to pour their contents in between here. So what we do, we use at yield content, okay, at yield content, because it's using blade, so it will understand what this means. So it means yield any content and pour them within this section. So that should work very well for us. So once you do that, I think that's the only thing you need to do on the base template. Now on the welcome template, what you need to do is to extend that base template. So extend means like inherit. If you are coming from an OOP background, okay, programming, object-oriented programming, you should know. So you are like inheriting from a parent. A child is inheriting some characteristics from a parent. So this welcome page is actually inheriting the header, the nav bar, and the footer from the parent, okay, which is the base blade. So that way we can say at extends with s. Remember, with s, it's like plural, extends with s. After that, you have your open bracket and then base. Okay, just that, so it understands that you are talking about this file. So it's actually this file name is looking at. You don't need to include the base.blade.html. So after that, the next thing you do would be to make sure that this yield content corresponds to the part that you want to pour to that content. Let me say that again. So this space, this gap you gave, so that every page should be able to pour in their content, you should actually have that as a section over here, so that the content can be poured here. So you have your content here, the same name here that was defined. If it was something else, you just define it differently here. So you have your content here poured, meaning that is a beginning of content, and at the end what you do is you get to the end of the content. Okay, you get to the end of the content, yeah, here, and then you have at end section. Okay, you don't need content bracket again. So here at section, but when you are ending it, all you need to do is like at end section. You don't need this content anymore. You don't need to do this is wrong. Okay, you don't need to do that, so we remove that. So you just end section, which we have done already down here. So you open the section and you end section, therefore it corresponds to this content yield, right? So that's that's everything you have to do. So once we do this, you notice that our top banner, the nav, and the footer, they are back. It stopped here, so the everything is back integrated into this page. So one other thing you'd be able to quickly do would be to make sure that your CSS is working very well. Okay, so we want to ensure that CSS is working properly. So we want to bring in our CSS from that from what we had. So to do that, we will get over here and then we copy everything we had here, everything from our downloads, the extracted one, and then we get over here public. Okay, and then let me just get here, and then we get to public, and then we paste them here. Okay, so once you are able to do that, you will have to do one last thing in your page. So once we close this, all right, so they are here. So the next thing you do is on this page, you should be able to, let's see what will happen. Okay, so here we don't need this spinner, so maybe I can just remove this reloader. Okay, so here we need a way of making our, so we need assets. Okay, so asset is a way of telling PHP or Laravel to get the exact asset we need and then pour it here, right? So we need to include that asset here now. So to do that is pretty much easy, just to do that. So to do that, you just add this asset and then we have our CSS. So let's check that that's working first. Okay, let's check it. Actually, this one. So we are beginning to see that it's working properly just with that one asset that we just added. So we can go ahead and do that for others. So I copy that, I hold down my alternate and I paste it. So I copy this, I hold down my alternate, I click first, hold down my alternate key, and then I paste. So we have, all of them. So I think the images will also show now. Okay, so we have all of them showing. We'll do the same thing for JavaScript. So what you need to do is we copy this, right? And then we get down on our base.blade.php, and then click on the first one without holding anything, then hold down your alternate, click on each of them. That's a shortcut. Okay, and when you get to the last, leave your alternate, then paste what you have. So it just does it for us instead of wasting the whole lot of time. So I just click on there and I hold down my alternate before clicking on others. I click on the rest of them, so it changes them at once. So what I'll do now is just to, did I need to click? Yeah, all right, just to have this and then close the bracket and the double braces closing. Okay, so we've imported everything to this page, so it now gives the life we expected here, just like this. So everything looks good, tidied up. So this is how you are able to integrate your template down here, and everything works smoothly. So we have our template, everything working, our footer working as well. Okay, so that is that. In our previous video, I think we talked about PHP where we were able to set up a database. So we will not go into much detail there, but I'll just be able to show you how to make a migration to a database. Just create a database and then make a migration to it. So I'll quickly show you how to do that, and then your database connectivity with Laravel. So let's see how to do that. I can close this and this here. So we have localhost without any other thing, and then let it come up. Oh, I didn't start up my XAMPP, so bad. Wow. So it's coming up. All right, so we need a database in order to be able to migrate. So let me just pause while my XAMPP is coming up. All right, it's up already. So we click on start and we start this. So that works fine. Okay, so closed. All right, so your local host should be able to come up. Oh, but an error with my local host. I had an error with this local host. So let's see if that pops out again. All right, I had an error with this, so I will sort out that error and then we'll be able to create a simple database. But I think I can give you as a task so that we get to the point we wanted to complete this video. So just create a database, just a name. Remember how we did in our previous video. If you've not watched it, just check it out. Create a database, just the name, give it a name of clinic manager, just that, and click create. Finish. Don't create any tables inside of it. So once you do that, once you are done with that, get back to your clinic manager, your Visual Studio, click on this plus button to use another terminal so that you will not stop the server from running. So while you do that, what you need to do is, first of all, you get to your env, scroll down here, click on env. That's where you define your environment variables. Okay, and then change this Laravel, the database name, to whatever you created, maybe clinic manager, okay, and then allow this username to be root, allow this to be empty, right? So this is fine. So once you do that, it means you are, define the connection for the database. So you can close that. And the next step to take would be to run your migrations. So how do you run your migrations? To run a migration, you'd first of all need to make a model, and then before you're able to run that migration. So let's see how to make a model. I'm running low on battery, so to make a model, you get to app, you get to models, okay? So but then we've not yet created that model, so we'll do that. So to make a model, what you need to do is you type php artisan make model, okay, make colon model, then the name of the model. Maybe you can just say uh, um, personnel type, yeah, for doctors, nurses, and the rest, yeah. And then we have space -m. -m means with migrations created, okay? So you migrate it. So migration file created. So once you do that, you click this, and then the model has been created successfully. So what you do, you click on this, and then we will add one nice function that will help to do the migration for us. So that's for that model. Okay, all right, so let's see what to do first here. So let's get to our migrations. Where do we find migrations? So we get to database migrations, and then you can expand this a bit, and then you see create personal. Don't do anything with these ones. So once you get here, there are up functions defined for us to create, and this one means to drop the database. So down means to drop, so you don't need anything here. So come in here and then define the columns for your table. So what you do is maybe we can have table, okay, and then string the type, okay, and then we have name, okay, or maybe just call it title or position. Maybe we stick to title role. Yeah, so let me just leave it at title. Then we have description. So description can be text, yeah, so we can just have description. So once you are done with this, the last step for this video for you to do, oh, are we having any issues? Oh, sorry, we needed to close that. Okay, so once you are done, so the timestamp will record when you have when you created the a particular table, and when you updated it. So that's what it does. So but these are the new columns we have added. So once you have done that, the next thing to do would be to migrate. Okay, so you just run php artisan migrate, and that will do the work for you. My database is having issues, so if I run this, it will cause an error, but yours should work. Okay, so I'll continue this class in the next video. Thank you very much.